Hi, Tanna Marshall here with your Feel Good Friday message. And today I'm talking to the caregivers again about preparing for the end, which, if you're a long-term caregiver or caring for somebody that you know you're going to be caring for them for the rest of their lives, this is something that we're all going to have to deal with. And I'm kind of there with my mom right now. We've had hospice care for a few months. She's had a slow, steady decline, and she sleeps all the time. Different body functions are kind of shutting down slowly, and you never know what the time frame is. Sometimes the doctors will say, oh, you've got a week or you've got a month or whatever, but a lot of times when someone's elderly and their body is just slowing down and getting ready to transition, you never know how long it's going to be. And this experience is very different than what I went through with my father 15 years ago. He was cognizant. He knew what was going on. He knew that his kidneys had stopped functioning and he chose to forego dialysis. And so we got all the hospice care and the hospital bed and all that kind of thing. And so we knew we were able to spend a lot of really good quality time with him. And I've mentioned this in past videos. I had just fractured my foot around that time, and I just happened to be staying with my parents because I couldn't get up and down the stairs of my apartment building with my crutches. So I was really blessed to be here and spend the last 7 weeks of my dad's life with him. I sat by his bed every night and we talked, and when he was unconscious, I still sat there and talked. But my mom has dementia, and it's kind of all over the place. It's not Alzheimer's. Dementia is different. People tend to confuse the two, but dementia is very different. That's memory loss. It's not destroying the brain as much as Alzheimer's. So she has moments of being there and kind of knowing what's going on. And right now, my main concern is that she is happy and comfortable. That's all I care about. She's not in any pain, even with, sometimes her body hurts, when I have to get her up and get her out of bed and put her on the commode and that kind of thing, or even when I'm moving her around in bed to adjust her for, either to eat or get her on her side because she's getting bed sores. I got to get her off her tailbone. She might be uncomfortable or be in pain, but most of the time I get her comfortable and she's fine. But it's just a very weird time. There's so many emotions going on with me, and my focus is everywhere all the time because it's on mom, actually throughout the day, less than usual because we don't have our daily routine where I have her up and she's over here eating, and then she goes over here to watch movies, and then she goes back to have a nap, and then she's on the commode, and then she's back out for dinner, and I have her exercising. And so there's none of that anymore. I get her up once early in the day to have her use the commode, to change her, and then I put her back in bed and I feed her and take her blood pressure and give her pills and all that stuff, and then I put her on her side and she listens to her music all day, and that's it. And then later I do the same thing and feed her dinner and then put her to bed for the night, and she's just pretty much asleep the whole time. There are days when she's awake and alert but still just wants to stay in bed because she's happy and comfortable there and still happy listening to her music. She can't see the TV anymore. She can't focus on a story. Movies are just, I don't know, she can't follow a storyline, and it's just noise. So I'd rather have her listen to the music because that's much better for somebody who has dementia or Alzheimer's. It really helps stimulate their brain, make them happy, make them calm. If somebody is in earlier stages, it can really kind of bring them out of it for a few minutes. So I've been having her listen to her music for years, but especially now, that's what she does all day. So I go back and forth between thinking about the situation like, oh my God, my mom is declining. We're getting close to the end now. I don't know when that's going to be, and I still have to plan everything forward as if she's going to be here for months and months and months. Anything that I have planned that I need to get coverage for, I have everything planned into like the next 3 months, just because I don't know what's going to happen, and I want to make sure that we have things in place. And also because we don't have the same routine, and it doesn't require me to have her up and down and here and there and all that kind of thing. I have more free time during the day, so you'd think I'd be more relaxed and like, oh, I can get more done. But just because of the situation, my emotions get the best of me sometimes, and I get overwhelmed, and I just get tired. Sometimes all I can do is I just want to sit and read or just sit, not do anything, or watch something mindless on TV because I'm just tired and exhausted and overwhelmed. And one thing I have to remember that I want all the caregivers to remember, if you're in a situation where you've been doing this for a really long time and you're at this point, just because you have less to do with that person during the day doesn't mean that you're going to automatically have more energy, because you have been doing this for years. And that accumulates and adds to that exhaustion, because when you've been doing something diligently for years without a lot of rest or very much of a break in there, obviously you're going to reach a point of exhaustion. And that's happened to me over the years. And every once in a while I get what I call mom-itis, where if I'm pushing myself too much, or I get too upset or stressed out about the situation caring for her, or I get angry with people and feel like I don't have enough support or they don't understand. In the past, I've made myself sick, and it comes on kind of like the flu, but it's not the flu. You know, this time of year, everyone's like, oh, I don't know, I can't be around you. And it's like, you're not going to catch it unless you move in and start taking care of my mom full time for 15 years. But no, I'm just exhausted. And it's just my body kind of shutting down and going, girl, you need to rest. So I have come to recognize that, and I've been able to keep it at bay by resting as much as I can. But I just still judge myself sometimes, like, oh, well, I'm not doing as much with her. I should be doing stuff around the house. But if I'm tired and exhausted, I know I need to give myself that time to rest and just allow myself to do whatever I need to do to make sure I feel good and that I'm okay. Because if I'm not, I can't. But man, taking care of her when I'm sick, oh my God, it's hell. It's one of the most difficult things I've ever had to deal with. When I've been really, really sick and I have had no help taking care of her, that is the worst. And she doesn't understand. And I'm like, Mom, I'm sick. And she just, it's not that she doesn't care, but she doesn't understand. It's not registering. So the only thing that registers with my mom is if I cry, then she goes into mom mode. Then she's like, oh, okay. But I don't cry in front of her these days. But so I go between that feeling of exhaustion to these spurts of feeling productive and knowing on a very practical level, because the end is approaching, even though I don't know when, how long we have, or whatever. Then I think about all the stuff I need to do in the house when that finally happens, and all the things I'm going to have to clean out. And I've been cleaning out for years to prepare for this. I've been going through closets and cupboards and, getting together with my brother and going through stuff with him, or telling my nieces, I came across this. Are you interested in this? Because I want things to go to the family if they're interested. And if not, I want it out of here. But I've only done it to a certain degree, because out of respect for Mom, I thought, okay, well, there's certain things I'm not going to get into until after she's actually gone. But she's completely gone here. She doesn't know the difference. So some things I kind of feel like, okay, we can get into that and get rid of it now, or clean it out now, or give it to family members now. Because quite honestly, I want to make things as easy as possible on myself for when she does go. I want to have an easy transition, because I'm going to have so many phone calls to make, so many financial things to take care of, and just there's so much. I remember going through it with my mom after my dad died, but now I'm going to be pretty much doing it on my own. Obviously, my family's there if I need them, but everything's in my name. I control everything. I take care of everything, so I'm the one that's going to have to do it. So I just want to make sure I don't get overwhelmed and exhausted when that time comes too. And then there's the very practical, I keep going back to the practical, but then there's that element of, I'm obviously going to be changing things around in the house to make it my home. I haven't had my own home in 15 years, and that has often been very difficult. Unfortunately, my mom has let me do things in the house and change things around so that it's more my style. And then obviously she got to a point where she didn't really know what was going on. And I would still ask her, just out of respect, Mom, do you mind if I do this? Do you mind if I move that? Or, bring this in or change that? And she's like, sure. So even though she might not have known what she was talking about, I always wanted to talk to her out of respect and just say, Mom, I'm going to be doing this. And she was always okay with it, which I really appreciate, because at least things are kind of the way I want them to be. And so that gives me some peace of mind and less feeling of overwhelmed of, oh my God, I have to do that later too. So it's a lot of considering what's happening later, which I've talked about a lot. So when I'm not thinking about what I have to clean out, or if I get this burst of energy, like, oh, I'm going to go take care of that right now, the majority of the time, because that's a very small percentage of the time, that's maybe, I don't know, 5-10% of the time where I'm like, I'm going to go clean this out, or I just feel motivated to do that right now. The rest of the time, when I'm not tending to her, I'm just exhausted, and I'm just allowing myself to take care of myself during that time and be okay with the exhaustion, because it's normal, it's natural. And the other weird thing is, I feel like I need to have a good cry, and it won't come. I know I've cried a few times during videos in the past when I've talked about this, but the weirdest thing is it won't come right now. When I feel like I want to do that to get it up and out and have that emotional release, and it's just not coming. And of course I want to do it when it's a good time. And it might come when it's not a good time. But one thing that happened the other day, I was talking to my brother on the phone, and we were talking about some of the practical stuff. I'm like, do you want this? Do you want that? I want to move this and get rid of that. And then he actually got choked up, and so that got me choked up. Here it goes. I have Kleenex this time. Okay. Okay, the floodgates are not opening this time. It's okay. That was just, but see, it's like I'm such a sympathetic crier, so, oh my God, I gotta stop thinking about that. Sorry. Thanks for bearing with me. Oh, makeup. I have to film another video today. I can't mess with my makeup. But I'll have moments like that where something will trigger it and I'll get a little teary, but I want to have the big boo-hoo and the big emotional release. And sometimes it happens if I'm watching a movie that triggers that for me. But most of the time, it's kind of like if you've ever seen the movie The Holiday with Kate Winslet and Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz's character can't cry. And she tries. She breaks up with her boyfriend, and she's like, and she just, it won't come, and she can't cry, and she finally gives up. It's kind of funny, but I feel like that's me right now, except for at this particular moment. But but yeah, I'm trying to let it out, and it won't come out. So at least I'm exercising every day when I'm not feeling like that mom-itis is coming on, because after the holidays, I was really run down, and I have to respect that. And that's another thing, caregivers, don't force yourself to do your daily routine if it's your workout and you're feeling so run down that it's going to be detrimental. So I had to give myself a little bit of time off, even though I was trying to get back into my routine after the holidays and clean up my eating and get it back into my workout. If I felt like I had that weird, I feel like I'm getting sick kind of feeling, I just didn't work out. I just did some yoga and some strength training and sit-ups and push-ups and, a few things like that. But as far as my rigorous workout, I just skipped it because, when I take care of mom, that little, even though it's just a short amount of time twice a day now, it's rigorous and it hurts my back, and I'm trying the best to take care of myself and use my core and all that kind of thing, but it's still exhausting. And then just seeing my mom in that state is emotionally draining as well, even though I sit with her and I appreciate every moment that I have, and we kind of snuggle, and I like to rub her head and hold her hand and kiss her and tell her I love her and all that kind of thing. So I'm trying to appreciate every moment that I have with her, because I never know when it's going to be the last one. I mean, I'm constantly running back there and looking at her like, are you still breathing? And the cats are acting weird these days. Her cat, Lovey, is laying on her constantly. And that makes me feel like, oh my God, because she never used to lay on her. She would lay on her shoulder or lay next to her or on the couch above her when she would go out to the couch. But now she's laying on her all the time in bed. And I know that animals know these things. And then my other cat, Boo Boo, he's been very needy. And I think he knows stuff is happening and he feels the energy. So he's been really in demand of my time and attention a lot lately. So animals know. So it's just a weird time because you don't know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen, and you just want to appreciate every moment and do the best you can and take care of them and take care of you. And it's overwhelming. I'm overwhelmed just thinking about it right now, but I know a lot of you might be going through the same thing. So I just wanted to create this message for you in case you're in the same place I am right now in your caregiving journey. Just take it one day at a time and take care of yourself as best you can, and know that you'll be okay. We all have to trust that we're going to be okay, because when you're doing this for somebody else, you know that that good stuff is going to be coming back to you. So I trust that for myself, and I'm just trying to get through it as best I can. So longer message today. Thanks for hanging in there with me. And thanks for being here with me. I appreciate it because I feel you. I know you're out there. And I want to thank you for spending these few minutes with me today. I hope this helped you if you're in the same situation. And just know that I'm with you. I'm sending you big hugs, and you're not alone. And feel free to reach out to me too. I have caregivers make comments here or on Facebook or email me, and I'm here for you. If you need a little bit of extra support, I want to be there for you too. So please feel free to do that. And I want to give you as much support as I can. So, the usual blah, blah, blah. Remember to subscribe, jump over to my website if you want these delivered to your inbox every day. And otherwise, just take care of yourself and have a great weekend and do the best you can every day. Take it one day at a time and know that it's all going to be okay. So have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.